Sonic Movie and Equestria Girls Chapter 2, A New World. A few months later.
Alright everyone, before you start saying how you've got a weird deja vu from me narrating this, that's because I'm doing this again. Alright, let me just start this off with a little explanation for what's been going for the last few months since we've been stuck in this supposed new reality.
Sonic could be seen running in top speeds as he runs past a few buildings, with him running up the tallest one before looking down onto a school which wasn't too far away.
This is Canterlet City, home of really interesting people. Still not as good as Green Hills, but I got to say, it's still top tier. But the most intriguing part is Canterlet High. You know, Sunset School where her friends go. We have Pinkie Pie, the funny and obnoxious party house, the classy and amazing designer Rarity, the hardworking and howdy girl Applejack, which kinda also reminds me of Knuckles, the sweet and lovely animal expert Fluttershy, the most sportsmanship and awesome competitor Rainbow Dash, and the smart and caring Twilight Sparkle, which I got to say, gives me Tails vibes.
Scene shows each of the different girls doing their own thing. Pinkie Pie making a cupcake before it blows up in her face, causing cream to go everywhere. Rarity designing a dress before showing it to other people, which causes applauses from people around her. Applejack carrying a few boxes as she helps with the school supplies before dropping it off. Fluttershy sitting down in front of a tree while petting a bunny. Rainbow Dash kicking a soccer ball towards a net, which causes her to score as she fist bumps the air. Twilight reading a book as her dog Spike barks adorably, which causes her to look over and smile at the dog.
Oh, you didn't think I would forgot about the incredible and most caring of them all, Sunset Shimmer.
From the distance, Sunset Shimmer could be seen helping someone as she comforted them in their time in need, just how Sonic did a few months back.
Although I've only visited time to time, it's amazing how much she's grown. But seeing her happy fills me with joy, like eating 3 chili dogs all at once. It's only been a few months and she's managed to turn her life around for the better.
Sonic then leans back before landing on the ground before running back to the woods.
But enough about them. If you're wondering how me and the boys are doing, I gotta say we're doing just fine.
Later with Sunset Shimmer, she was currently reading a book when she heard knocking from her front door. She then stood up from her desk before walking to the door and opening it, revealing no other than,
"You're late, Flash Sentry."
Flash could be seen scratching his head while looking away nervously.
Sorry about that, I had trouble with something before I got here.
You better come inside. You don't want to catch a cold now, do you?
Wouldn't mind if I did. Then I would just have to come to you to hail me with your magic.
That's not how my magic works, and you know it. Seriously, you could have just went to the hospital instead of coming here. They do a much better job at patching up bandages.
Where's the fun in that? Besides, it's much cheaper too.
The guitar player could only playfully smile after hearing an annoyed groan from Sunset. Flash could only walk inside as Sunset closed the door behind him, as the guitar player could only sit down on her couch while Sunset sat next to him.
So Sunset, how's life been treating you since the whole robot thing with Micro?
Everything's been fine lately, though you should warn Micro next time to not making a killer robot controlled by a toaster of bread. Seriously, you didn't have to get my amulet for me. You could've gotten yourself killed.
Sunset then saw one of his bandages as the boy could only groan in pain after she tried touching it.
What can I say? A guy's gotta do what he does best.
If that involves getting yourself hurt, then I suggest you stop doing it.
How could I when you keep risking your life dealing with these crazy bad guys?
Flash, me and the girls have our own magic to face threats like that. You on the other hand are just a regular dude that has to deal with the magic that I brought into this world.
That doesn't mean I won't stop trying to help. Besides, it's gonna take more than a plea to stop me from doing my part.
Really? Then how about a punch to the shoulder?
Let me think about it. Now your punches don't even hurt anyways.
Sunset Shimmer could only punch the boy on the shoulder, which caused him to laugh.
I'm kidding.
You're right. Last time I checked, I can always be your knight in shining armor.
Sunset started patching up the guitar player's injuries. Although they haven't talked much since the Ever-Free Forest, that didn't stop them from hanging out from time to time. Just then she remembered a conversation they had during their time in the Ever-Free Forest, as she could only ask him a question.
By the way, how are you handling getting over Twilight?
Flash remained silent for a while before speaking in a soft yet sad tone.
I won't lie to you when I say it still hurts, but I've managed to get over her. Especially since she's not coming back anytime soon. Though some part of me wishes that things could have worked out, you know.
It sucks, but sometimes it's like that in life. We can't always get what we want no matter how many times you try.
Flash could only notice the tone of her voice change as he looked over to see Sunset Shimmer looking down on her feet sadly.
Is something wrong?
What? No, what makes you say that?
Sunset, we've been over this. You're like an open book. I can tell when something's wrong just by looking at you. Mind explaining what's going on this time?
Sunset Shimmer could only let out a depressed sigh as he put his hand on her shoulder before she looked over to him.
Alright, I'll tell you. It's about a friend. Ever since the fall formal, I really wanted to meet him since he was the first friend I ever made since the wall me turning into a demon thing. We kinda just met one night when he was at my rooftop, but he never really showed his face around me. But even so, he helped me that night when he gave me advice to push forward and not to let my past define me. Ever since then we've been talking on weekends during midnight and he's been a really good friend since. Though I just wish he would show his face around me.
Whoa! Whoa! You're telling me that the first friend you made since the fall formal is some dude you met at a rooftop? Doesn't that give you, I don't know, creep vibes or something?
It would if he didn't sound like an annoying and loudmouth teenager. Besides, even if I haven't met him face to face, he still was my first friend I've made since the fall formal. He's been there for me when I thought no one else would. Not even you.
Flash could only flinch after hearing those words come out of Sunset mouth. It's true that Flash wasn't exactly the nicest to her after the fall formal, but ever since the Everfree Forest, he wanted to make things up with Sunset and start over as friends. Though he couldn't blame her for saying those words normally since Sunset wasn't exactly afraid to pull any of her punches. Flash could only speak in a soft yet worried tone.
I'm just concerned for your safety, that's all. I don't want you getting hurt.
I'll manage. I'm no damsel in distress after all.
Regardless, just try to be careful. The best advice I could give is wait for the kid to show himself. I know it may take a while, but I'm sure when he's ready, he'll show himself around you. For now, you just wait until he's ready and hope things go well from there.
I guess you're right.
I mean, does the kid have any friends?
Well, he didn't really talk much about them, but he did mention their names time from time. All he said was that they're like family to him. I think their names were Tails and Knuckles.
Those are some odd names, but I can't really judge since I have a friend that's named Sandalwood. Anyways, what's he like?
Well, telling by his expression, he's very childish and energetic. Yet there's times where he's thoughtful and kind to me. Whenever I'm feeling down or bummed out about something, he always finds a way to cheer me up. He's kinda like a little brother to me. I just wish sometimes he could finally come out of his shell and meet me in person.
Well, he sounds like a good friend.
Sunset could only notice the sad tone in his voice, although it's true that she didn't blame Flash for the way he treated her in the past after their relationship. She could tell that the guitar player still carried some guilt for it.
Hey Flash, I know this is a bit late to say this, but I wanted to apologize for leaving you during the camp thing when you asked me if I wanted to become friends again.
Wait, you remember that?
Why wouldn't I?
It's just didn't expect you to remember, that's all.
I know, it's just we never got the chance to talk about it since I've been busy most of the time. But that's besides the point. Look, I thought about it for a while and I wanted to tell you that I accept that offer of yours, if that's still okay with you.
Wait, you're serious about this? You really want to start over as friends, even when after the way I treated you?
A friend once taught me that everyone deserves a second chance, even with the mistakes you made. So yes, I would love to have you as a friend again.
Sunset could only put her hand in Flash's shoulder as the boy could only look over to see her smiling at him. This caused the guitar player to smile back at her. Back with Sonic.
Tails, Knuckles, I've got the groceries like you guys wanted.
Sonic ran past Knuckles, who could be seen breaking down a tree as it fell to the ground. The red echidna could only drag the branch of wood back to where they were staying for firewood. Tails was currently fixing up the tornado as they managed to build a little house made out of wood for him to build inside. Sonic then arrived just in time as he opened the door for their small house as he laid on the couch while watching the small TV that Tails had made.
Tails, I'm back with the groceries, and let me tell you, it's been getting harder not to get spotted by this world's humans.
That's great, Sonic. Just put them on the counter. Say which would you prefer tonight, beef or mushroom stew?
Definitely beef. Last time we made mushroom stew, things did not go so well for me.
Sonic then placed the groceries on the counter as he went back to lay in the couch as he used the remote to play the TV as it showed the local news.
In today's news, Blue Justice strikes again as last night's criminals were stopped once again. Suspects say like last time that it was over in less than a minute, but reports have said that the Blue Justice has not been identified. If you have seen or know about it, please contact.
Sonic?
What? I can't help it. The city is big and I've got criminals to stop. Not to mention it gets boring not having anything to do.
Knuckles then opened the room with smashed wood as he put them down near the rest of the firewood nearby as he wiped his gloves while sitting next to the blue hedgehog.
Did he sneak out again?
Relax, guys. I've got this all under control. Plus, they don't expect a thing. Now, come on, Knuckles. Let's play this fighting game I found. If you want to prove how great a warrior you are.
Very well then. Prepare for your embarrassing and humiliating defeat from me, Hedgehog.
You're on then, Knucklehead.
By the way, Sonic, been sneaking out a lot lately. Mind telling us what's going on?
Sonic watched his friends look at him with a curious expression. The blue hedgehog was quick to come up with an excuse that would save him.
Well, since we've been working really hard lately, I've been trying to decide something we could do for Boys Night Out.
And what would that be, Sonic?
There's a Suxer game happening at Canderlot High School. I've got the perfect spot where we could hang out and watch the game.
I don't understand. Why can't we watch something like that on the TV?
Wouldn't it be more enjoyable place front to see a game? It would be 10 times better than watching from the TV like we always do.
I don't know about this, Sonic. Are you sure it's a good idea? What if we get spotted?
Don't worry, I've got the perfect spot where no one would see us. So we should be fine, I promise.
All right then, but just for safety measure, I'm bringing the Emerald with us just in case things go south.
Good idea. Now then, Knuckles, game on?
Knuckles and Sonic could only compete against one another in a video game. Tails could only watch in excitement as both Sonic and Knuckles were playing with determination on their faces. After her talk with Flash, Sunset Shimmer invited her friends over after the guitar player had to leave as she was currently with the others. Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie were currently against one another in a game while Twilight and Rarity were currently having a conversation while Fluttershy was playing with her pet rabbit.
Alright girls, what's the plan after tomorrow after Rainbow's game?
Let's do a sleepover. I'm down, but which one of you is down with us sleeping over?
Hey, Sunset, you think we should do what we did last time at your house?
Sunset Shimmer paid no attention as she heard Applejack's voice call out to her.
Hey, Sugar Cube.
Sunset snapped back to reality as she saw the others looking at her weirdly.
Oh, what did you say again, Applejack?
You okay, Sunset Shimmer? You've been spacing out lately.
She's probably thinking about that secret somebody she's talking to.
Say what now?
I think it's time we state the obvious, if you don't mind me asking you something, right?
That being?
I was just curious about why you've been sneaking out around midnight. Are you talking to any certain fellow?
Someone finally said it. I thought it was something we don't talk about.
What are you guys talking about?
Well, darling, it's no secret most of know already that around midnight you talk to someone outside. We're just curious to who this person is.
Wait a minute! How long have you guys know about this?
A few days after what happened during the games. You were rather distant during night and we all assumed that you've been talking to someone, that's all.
Sunset Shimmer could only sigh in defeat as her secret had already been revealed way before she was even considering telling the others about Sonic.
Well, to be honest, I haven't really seen what he looks like. We just kinda met one night when he was hanging out in my rooftop around the time of the fall formal. He saw me in one of my darkest days and we just kinda met and talked about stuff. Afterwards he gave me advice. Ever since then we've been visiting each other outside when he's on top of the rooftop. He doesn't like showing his face since he told me he's insecure about it.
I don't want to be that person at all, but what kind of dude appears out of nowhere on your rooftop? He already sounds like a stalker.
He told me some things in his life, like about his friends, what he likes to do for fun and so much more. He seems like a genuine and nice person to talk to, and ever since the day I've met him we've been good friends.
You never know if this guy could be lying. What's his name anyway?
Sonic.
Is he a student from our school or something?
I don't know, he hasn't told me much about his personal life yet, so.
He sounds like some kind of athlete.
From what he tells me sometime. He's very carefree and outgoing but gets very competitive from time to time. He kinda reminds me of you sometimes, Rainbow. But regardless of who he is, he's a sweet guy, and without him, I don't know if I would be the same person I am today.
He sounds like a real sweet guy.
Even though this guy still seems sketchy, I can't argue about how things are for between you two. But if this dude does anything to you, I'm not afraid to turn him upside down.
Regardless, we support your friendship with him and wish you luck when he finally shows himself.
Thanks, girls.
Hey! Aren't you supposed to wish me good luck since my game is tomorrow?
We'll tell you good luck tomorrow after you win.
Later at midnight, as the dark sky became ever so darker, the others could be seen laying down on their respective beds. Tails was sleeping in a triple bunk bed along with Sonic, who slowly sneaked out of their bedroom before leaving without making so much of a sound as he left the small house and ran at top speeds. It took him a few minutes to arrive back at the rooftop, which he laid down on the other side of the rooftop as usual. He then heard Sunset Shimmer's voice from down below.
You're later than usual.
Well, unlike you, I have to wait till everyone is fast asleep until I'm able to sneak out. Tails and Knuckles have been suspicious of me lately, so it's been harder to come up with more excuses.
Easy for you to say. My friends found out a long time ago that I've been talking to you.
Let me guess, Applejack was the one to bring it up.
Yup, she did.
Hold it!
Say, are you gonna watch the game tomorrow night? You know it wouldn't hurt to finally shower yourself. If it's okay with you, you could come along with your friends to watch.
Sonic almost choked on his own spit after the suggestion of showing what he actually was to Sunset. Although at first he wanted to, he remembered the reasons why it would be best not to show himself to her. That being that he wasn't sure how she'd react and everything, along with the fact that he's already known as the Blue Justice in this world too.
As much as I would love to, I just remembered me and boys have something to do that day. But we'll be able to watch from afar though, if we make it in time.
Sunset Shimmer couldn't help but feel a little hurt as she could only sigh in knowing an answer like this was coming. Although they've known each other for a couple of months now, Sonic still didn't feel comfortable showing himself to her yet.
Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
So have things been with you and the girls? Which adventure this time needed the power of friendship to fix someone's broken heart? Tell me again, it's called again. The Elements of Harmony.
If you must know, it's more effective than you think. It's like I told you before, the Elements of Harmony are supernatural artifacts representing subjective aspects of harmony. There are 6 in total. There's honesty, kindness, laughter, generosity, loyalty, and the most importantly one of them all, the magic of friendship.
The power you used when you were telling me about how you became a powerful celestial and stopped Midnight Sparkle.
Why?
Just double checking. And let me guess, this magic came from the other world where that other twig came from.
Are you gonna make another joke where you don't believe me or that I should be in a mental institution?
Sonic remained silent for a couple seconds before replying while trying to contain his laughter.
No, why would anyone think you're crazy when you can use the power of friendship?
You just make it sound really sillier than it already is.
Sonic then bursted out laughing.
Fair point.
Sunset Shimmer couldn't help but laugh as she shook her head slowly.
Now you just sound stupid.
But it made you laugh, so it counts as a win in my book.
Whatever, Mr. Sonic's gotta go fast from what you always say.
That night both of them kept talking to one another as both enjoyed the other's company. It was moments like this when they wished they could see each other face to face, but sadly Sonic had his reasons why he didn't want that. Unbeknownst to the others, Knuckles could be seen meditating with holding Master Emerald. Knuckles opened his eyes before the emerald lifted in the air and began to glow green in color. Knuckles began to glow red with electricity as he tried to use the Master Emerald's power. However, as he tried to do this, he started to struggle with using the emerald as it began to glow brighter before pushing the red echidna back against the wall. The emerald then dropped on the floor with Knuckles getting back up to his feet before walking towards it.
Even after months of training, it seems I still haven't overcome this.
The red echidna could only sigh in defeat before picking the emerald back up and walking the other way outside of his training room. Back at Sonic's world, in a dark and cold research facility, a small containment breach was shown with a dark and red hedgehog currently in his restraints as opened his eyes and glared with orange electricity at the certain fellow who only greeted him with a smile.
Greetings. It seems as if I've beaten gun in finding the ultimate life form. Isn't that right, Shadow the Hedgehog?
In one swift motion, the black hedgehog immediately grabbed the mad doctor by the throat before slamming him against the wall behind him.
You monsters!
Shadow then threw the mysterious figure across the room as the mad scientist could see the black hedgehog was unleashing his power. Shadow approached the figure slowly before summoning a red bot of lighting from his hand.
Well, as much as I would love for you to get all that you're out of your system, I believe we have better things to discuss.
Why should I listen to you?
Let this be our little agreement. You help me in my conquest and, well, I'll help you destroy the people who took everything from you.
The figure then stood up from his feet before walking towards the black hedgehog before offering a handshake.
What do you say, new friend?
Shadow could only glare at the mysterious figure before he reluctantly shook their hand as moments later, the mysterious figure let out a manically laugh that everyone knew all too well.